Ever wondered how security experts perform in-depth vulnerability assessment? Today, we are going to set up OpenVAS, one of the most powerful open source vulnerability scanners on Kali Linux. Stick around to learn how to install, configure, and run your first scan using OpenVAS. Hello and welcome to the Ultra Blue channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be setting up OpenVAS, an advanced open source vulnerability scanner on Kali Linux. This tool is essential for conducting thorough security assessments. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest tech content. Let's get started. To begin, you have to open up your terminal, or you can simply press Ctrl, Alt, and T to open up a terminal. Now, once your terminal is open, the first thing we need to do is to ensure that our system is up to date. And you already know what to do. To ensure that your system is up to date, you have to update it by typing sudo apt get update. Why don't I also follow it up by an upgrade and sudo apt gets upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and type in my password, and now Kali Linux is going to go ahead and update and upgrade anything that has to be updated or upgraded. This is a very important step when you're following up in any tutorial, because most of there might be issues that you might run into which you might not have run into if you had updated your system and you're running the latest versions of every single tool in Kali Linux. So let's give it a second to update and upgrade so that we can begin. So once the update and upgrade process is complete, we can proceed to install OpenVAS. So in Kali Linux, OpenVAS is available as part of the OpenVAS package. So you can quickly type in, let me go ahead and clear this first. So let me clear this. And we can quickly type in sudo apt get install OpenVAS. Yes. Then go ahead and hit enter. Go ahead and put in our password. Yes. And then it's going to go ahead and download and install OpenVAS. Great. Now that OpenVAS is installed, after the installation is complete, we'll need to initialize OpenVAS. This process sets up the necessary configuration and downloads the latest vulnerability feeds. Type the following command to initiate OpenVAS. So to initiate OpenVAS, simply type in sudo gvm -setup, and then you hit enter. So it's going to go ahead and start some very important processes that will be needed. The initiation process will take some time as it downloads and sets up various components. Make sure to note down the admin password. There's going to be a password generated down here. Make sure to note down this password during the process, as you need it to log into the OpenVAS web interface. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'll let me see, save it down here. Then I'll save it. Great. So this is going to take some time because it's going to download some files that are required for the Greenborn processes. But once the setup is complete, we'll need to set up the OpenVAS services. Once it keeps on downloading more processes and components, let's see if we could continue using OpenVAS even though all the components are not fully downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and open a new terminal here to start up OpenVAS services. So to start up OpenVAS services, simply type in sudo space gvm /start. Then you hit enter. Again, we have to put in our password and wait. Waiting for GM service to start. You might need to refresh your browser once it opens. Blah 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 blah. So, however, this command simply starts the Greenborn Vulnerability Manager, also sometimes called the GVM services. You should see several services starting, including the GSAD, which is a Greenborn Security Assistant daemon responsible for the web interface. Great. Next, once it opens the browser automatically, if it doesn't open the browser automatically, we just type in, you could open a new tab and just type in localhost, and then it will take you to this web page. Now that the URL points to this URL points to the OpenVAS web interface, you might see a security warning because of a self-signed certificate. It is simply safe, and it is very safe. So you just go ahead and click on advanced, and then go ahead and click accept the risks and continue. Great. You'll be greeted with the OpenVAS login page. Enter the admin username and the password generated during the startup process. So as this was going on, wait. So at the time this was going on, it generated an admin, a user which was admin, and then a password. So you need this password to log into the web page. So I'm going to go ahead again and copy this once again, go to the page and type in admin as my username, and then I'll go ahead and paste the generated password, and then I'll sign in. Go ahead and save this, and then you are greeted with the OpenVAS login page. After logging in, you'll be taken to the OpenVAS dashboard. Here you can manage your scans, view reports, and configure various settings. So let's create a new scan task to demonstrate how to use the OpenVAS. So to do this, you have to click on scan and then go ahead and click on task. Alright, now come here and click on new task. Great. In this new task configuration window, you have to enter the name of the task and then the IP address. So the name of the task, I'm going to say, let's say this is Ultra. So let's leave here empty, and then the scan target is where we are supposed to put in our IP address. However, we don't have a list of IP addresses in which we would want to scan. We only have one. As a matter of fact, let's go to our metasploitable and find out our IP address. So ifconfig, and it's 192.168.137.129. So I'm going to go ahead back to our dashboard, and then I'm going to click on this little guy here, create a new target. So if they create a new target, I'm going to use manual instead of from a file, because we don't have a file. We could have also made a file and done it, but since this is just a single target, we are going to manually type in the target. So manually, we're just going to type in the IP address of our target, which is 192. Just 192.168.137. Why does this keep? 137.129. I think this was it. 192.168.137.129. Great. So that was the host. And then so the default configuration from this menu is usually sufficient for most scans. So once you are done, if you're doing some custom configuration, you could go ahead and click on the save button or the create button, the save button. However, let's see whether they will allow us if you don't fill in everything. Hot list. So we will select CVE and then we click save, and then it's saved. So your new task will now appear in the task list, and to start a scan you could simply click on the task. You could click on the scan button, the start button right here. You could click on the task down around over here, or you could click on the start down here. So went ahead to click on start. Now when you click on start, OpenVAS, so obviously I didn't do a lot of configuration to actually give us detailed scan results right now, but typically OpenVAS will usually begin to scan the target for vulnerabilities. This process will take some time depending on the target and the scan configuration. As you saw, we didn't do any serious or hardcore scan configuration. That's how come our scan is brought back to us in an instance. However, once the scan is complete, you could view the result by going to scan and clicking on results. Once you click on the results, you would see the results of the scan that has been taking place. So as I said, we didn't do any concrete configuration to get sufficient results for this, but basically that's how the OpenVAS is used. So to summarize this, we installed the OpenVAS on Kali Linux, we initialized and configured it, and then we performed the vulnerability scan on our Metasploitable machine. OpenVAS provides detailed insight into potential security issues, making it a valuable tool for any cybersecurity professional. Let me go ahead and close this. While this guy is still at work. Thank you for joining us on this detailed journey through setting up OpenVAS on Kali Linux. We hope you found this tutorial educational and informative. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Ultra Blue channel for more in-depth security content. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe and keep learning.